Hello, everyone. Welcome. This is now no longer Aluminum Tarot. We are Crucible Tarot. I think that there was some general reasons why I wanted to rebrand this YouTube channel to try to get things a little bit closer to the ethos of what I'm specifically trying to accomplish and achieve with this, with my readings. And furthermore, I feel like the whole love and light thing is a bit too much of a cliche, so I want to get back into the shadow realm and understand a little bit more about the human condition, not just through the light, but through the darkness, because one leads to the other. I will give a detailed explanation of that in a future video, which hopefully will take place by, mid-June. So we're going to be starting these off with the usual Taurus, because the Moo crew is the best crew to be. Yeah, we'll be reading using a few of the tarot decks that I've got and oracle decks as well. We have the Angelarium oracle deck, which deals with a lot of the angels and the watchers as well, which I will try to tap into the watchers deck as soon as I can get a hold of one. Additionally, we have the Moonology oracle deck as well, which is a pretty much a favorite amongst a lot of tarot readers as well. And then there's a special one that I've received here, which I'll be using for the readings for this month, which come from someone named Luna Marie, which I had the pleasure of meeting at Watkins Books in London not too long ago. And she has the Warrior of Love Tarot, which I will be using for these readings. And they're quite beautifully illustrated, very colorful. So I want to kind of have a little bit of that light feeling, as well as the shadowy feeling from, the oracle decks as well. So it gives quite a bit of a complementary feel. So I'll include her link in the I'll include her website link in the description box below, so that way I can give attribution to her as well. That said, we're going to go straight into the readings for June 2026. This is the message that you need to hear when you need to hear it. I'm no longer going to read for the month of June, for the month of July. I'm going to say, as I'm reading this, for the period in time in which it takes place, this is going to be your message that resonates with you at this specific time, and however it plays out will be up to you, and also additionally up to the course that you're on, specifically in your own life. So, order of the day. If you like what you see here, please be sure to give a like, share, subscribe, ding the notification bell. Don't forget that I have rebranded. So if you don't see Aluminum Tarot in here anymore, do look for Crucible Tarot. And also, just support the channel in any way that you can. And that will be it. Let's go. Let's get straight into it. So, Taurus, shuffle your cards. You're going to get for the first oracle card deck, Shahakil, which is the Angel of Sky. Beautifully illustrated by Peter Morenbacher, I think that's his name. And hopefully I didn't butcher that. But with this angel presiding over your reading, what we're going to look at is the limitless possibilities that await you in your life at this particular moment. You may be experiencing a windfall, or be embarking on kind of a creative endeavor. You may be now confronted as well with a lot of options that will allow you to start to seek out a resolution using an infinite and abundant amount of possibilities. So with Akio, this is a great angel to have, in your midst, if you are looking to a creative potential or a resolution that seeks to create as many options as possible. As you can see, the sky's the limit. Hopefully that's not too cliche as well, but so be it. Now, we also talk about, with Sakiel, I'll just get a little bit into that. When we speak about Sakiel, we are talking a little bit about heaven and earth. Of course, there is a heaven. Heaven has no point. Like, there's no. It is infinite in its own right, because the earth is merely a reference point in the makeup of the cosmos, and this is something that I hope that people understand about the nature of our universe and our cosmos. There are certain theories about the Big Bang where there is an edge to the universe of infinite darkness. But think about that for a second, that the universe that you are living in, this physical realm, this cosmic identity that we've established for everything around us, has no beginning and no end. It is a fully functional matrix of a mathematical equation, calculating infinity, as the Dillinger escape plan would say. That's what we are doing in this lifetime. We are trying to understand the infinite possibilities within our own world and within our own lives. And as we are a material representation of the universe and infinite possibilities that it can create, do, and destroy as well. That is something that we're going to be pondering and reflecting on for this specific reading for you, Taurus. Now, look up to the sky and realize that it goes on forever, with infinite possibilities of universes, planets, constellations, galaxies, and so on. We are simply dealing with the 12 zodiac signs within the galaxy that we preside in. Amazing how that works. And it is something that is very humbling. Now, as you look to the sky, hold your vision. This is the Moonology Oracle card that you have received for this reading. When you hold your vision, this is pertaining to the fixed moon. Now, the Moonology deck deals specifically with the phases of the moon, the actual angles, and the intensity of the lunar energy which pervades your readings. I was born on a Monday, so that means that for me, the moon is a very special planetary, well, I guess, yeah, cosmic entity, if you want to say it that has a lot of sway in my life as well. I also have a North Node in Cancer. So that is telling me this is the direction that I need to go into. This is the type of astrological sign that I am trying to cultivate more qualities about, more in touch with my intuition, more in touch with feelings and emotions, and learning how to keep my vision going into the future and making sure that I'm looking beyond the obstacles that are in front of me and realize that the possibilities that lie beyond those obstacles, signaled by the mountains here, are infinite. You also see that there are infinite stars within this card that are showing up, which also point to that infinite possibilities as well. And so with the fixed moon, we are coming to the midway point of a journey that we have taken leading up to the full moon. Sometimes that can be coming back to the new moon. But remember that in Hermeticism, this is one thing that we teach about, or that rather the universe teaches about, Hermetic thought teaches about, is that there is nothing in this world that is static. Everything is constantly changing, and that change is one of the fundamental laws and principles of our entire existence and the existence of the universe itself. In this case, when you hold your vision, not only are you holding a vision that you feel strongly inclined to preserve in your life, but you are also holding a vision of the changes and the mathematical I wouldn't say disruptions, but the mathematical transformations that are taking place. So if you are engaging in a project, for example, you are empirically engaging with it, you're understanding how to change it, where it's going to go, you're looking at the empirical data, you're also understanding how to influence the project so that it leads to a success. And by analyzing all of those infinite possibilities, you can connect the constellation of your own actions into a fully realized project. And for you, that is going to be instrumental in helping you understand your power as the magician in all of this. And so, again, I want to take this deeper than just the simple readings that many people on YouTube Tarot Give. I want to actually speak about these things in a more occult sense. And that is something that I've promised myself that I would do. If something mundane comes into it, like a job or a love relationship or the resolution of a conflict in a family relationship or something, I will read that out, especially when we get to the tarot. But with these oracle decks, I want to extract as much occultic wisdom as we can from that, so that way we can learn a bit more about your life on a spiritual level. Now, getting into this, what we're talking about here, for the recent past, and I guess the first set of cards that come into your life, you have the Ace of Wands. Very, very beautiful illustration here in this deck, the Warrior of Love Tarot. And we also have the Six of Cups. So what we have starting off, maybe this was a recent event that took place with your life, but we have the Ace of Wands. And what the Ace of Wands is a new start. It is a fiery initiation of something that you have taken action on to make happen. It can be passion, it can be a relationship, it can be a creative project, something that is based on the past. Six of Cups, something that you felt an emotional tie to and connection. When we have the Ace of Wands, that is number one, that is the initiation of something. And then you have the Six, which is harmony, the creative efforts put together by two sets of threes, which is collaboration. When those things come together, you think about the past, you think about all of the wonderful things that you've done that have led up to this moment. So with that spark is engendered based on something from the past. So, for example, if you have restarted a creative project that is allowing you to express yourself on that level in a very creative, aspiring, influential level, then that would insinuate for this specific reading. And with that said, whether that's with music, whether that's with speaking on YouTube, whether that's with a business that you run, whether that is going on trips and saying to yourself, I really miss that place, I really want to go and get re-involved in, going to Wales, going to Scotland, going to, Santa Monica, wherever you want to go. You go back to Nepal if you want to. But wherever it was that you felt captivated in the past, that is where you were initiating this project or this idea that is taking you into the near future. So with that said, we have the Six of Wands on its side, and then we also have the Queen of Cups. So when we're looking at the Queen of Cups, we think about a person who is now getting into their emotional side. And once again, we're pulling two cards. One is fire and one is water. And those are two elements that are opposites on the same pole of the alchemic process. Oftentimes, when you look at alchemy, the symbols, fire will be a triangle pointing upwards, representing male energy. And then you'll have water, which is a triangle pointing downwards, which is female energy. Now, I can get into more information about that later, but we are now uniting the masculine and feminine energies within ourselves, which are allowing us to create the success that we are trying to receive. Looking into this even further, we have another six. We had the Six of Cups in the past. Now we have the Six of Wands that is trying to manifest itself, but it is on its side. So you're not really confident in the success of this project yet. But what you are doing is you're trying to bring that to the upright. Normally when you have the Three of Wands, and remember I spoke about two sets of threes, you're waiting for your ships to come in with the Three of Wands. With the Three of Cups is a collaboration between people on an emotional level, whether that's through support, whether that is through partying, whether that is through friendship circles, and so on. With this, the Six of Wands, you are now moving into a more, how can I say? you're moving into materializing that success as you have seen it. You're waiting for those successes to finally blossom and to create themselves for the public eye to see. And what you're doing right now is you're guiding yourself with your intuition in order to create this and to make this happen. This requires you to sit with yourself. This requires you also to be in touch with your intuition. Now, with the Queen of Cups, if you look closely at this card here, we see that this woman, yes, she's submerged, but also she's holding a pearl and an oyster. Now, with the pearl, think about what the pearl means, what it tells us. An oyster or a clam will have a foreign object enter its body. And what the pearl actually is the defense mechanism that tries to encapsulate, to enclose that foreign object, seal it off, and then expel it later on. So you're actually, when you think of pearls, you're actually thinking of things that are expunged from the body of the oyster or the clam. This is a very powerful, very powerful message, because what this tells us is that by using our intuition, we can preserve the purity of our ideas, of our projects, of our actions, and things of that nature. And so this is a very sacred symbol, which, of course, is a very feminine symbol for reasons I will not get into at this particular moment in time because of YouTube. But I will also say, you can look it up as an aphrodisiac. That's as far as I'm going to take it. But in saying that, instead of holding a chalice in this card, she is holding that clam. And she is watching, as we said before, the materialization of something that has been implanted within the body or the idea or the consciousness, which is now taking shape into something valuable, because pearls also tell us about wealth and power and value, as these are things that are not easily replicated. And they're also difficult to find as well. So as you're waiting for this project to materialize and to gain traction, you can see that eventually the success will upright itself, and then you will have that lovely accolade that you have been searching for a long time. And everyone wants their works to be recognized by the general public. That's where we get a lot of our influencer culture from. Whether or not that is a scrupulous way of getting attention from people is really for debate. However, in this particular case, when we are interested in creative endeavors and we are looking towards the infinite possibilities that are connected to those, we are in the process slowly trying to build those into existence, just as the Queen of Cups is fully integrated with her intuition to recognize when that is going to happen. I'm going to pull one more card for this next set. What I thought for the next near future, and of course, okay. So now we have two interesting cards here. We have the Knight of Swords, and then we have the Knight of Pentacles taking place in the near future. So with these two cards, what they're telling me based on the imagery alone, let's start with the Knight of Swords. He is holding this owl skin on his head. The owl represents wisdom and the ability to see within the darkness, which is what the the Knight of Swords is very, very famous for. Going into something, being able to attack a situation with the intellect. It's a skilled debater. It's also recognizing that in order to see in the darkness, we have to use our cunning and our understanding of situations to guide us through that. That also includes an intuition that we need to understand as well. And here we can see that it's holding two hearts, which to me kind of represents the Two of Cups as being united in head and heart in order to accomplish things. Because with this snow around this particular person, he is without a shirt on, of course, but he's in the snow, representing the fact that despite the barrenness and the obscurity of the facts and the empirical data around you, you will be able to attack it with a great understanding. And by doing so, you'll be able to find the solutions that you need to move things forward. With this Knight of Pentacles, it's also something very interesting to look at, because with the Knight of Pentacles, you see two people and they are trying to reach each other. You could say that potentially these are the lovers, but with the Knight of Pentacles, this particular one shows that it is going to be a long process for you to actually bring the two of these things together. So you may be working with an individual, you may be moving towards a love relationship, but it will take time, and it needs to have a deliberate progress from one accomplishment and achievement to the next. Again, we have the Six of Wands in the middle, which is representing our current energy. In order to upright that Six of Wands, it's going to be an extended process, but it is also one of patience and one that is lasting. So in all of this, you got two knights, and you have a Knight of Pentacles, a Knight of Swords, that's earth and air. So you're working now with the practical and analytical aspects of building this endeavor that you're engaged in to its completion. So for the outcome of this, for the month of June, you have the Strength card, which represents being strong, being capable, and recognizing your own strength in making this happen, because you do see the sun here in the distance and these nice golden colors. You know, the color of gold is usually one of success as well. You do have the sun in the Six of Wands here as well in the distance. You also have in the Strength card the same sun, but it's shining even brighter. With this Strength card, I'm not necessarily getting that you have to hold back or you have to, you know, withstand something or endure something. It could be possible that you have to endure the patience of bringing this project into the forefront, into the limelight. But what I'm seeing here is that your strength and the strength of the project itself is going to increase dramatically towards the end of this, but towards the end of this month. Three of Wands in the reverse. You're no longer waiting for those ships to come in. Instead, you are bringing them to the fore. As we were talking about with the Six of Wands, we said that it's two sets of threes, two sets of Three of Wands. I think in this particular case, you are no longer seeking to receive that validation from others, or maybe to wait for something to help you out. You're going to be proactive in being able to get those things yourself. And so with that said, that's what I'm getting for your specific reading for this month. So I hope this has been helpful, and whatever it is that you're doing, whether that is love, whether that is creative projects, whether that is work, I see a lot of success coming for you in the near future. And additionally, you know, just pulled another card. You have the Page of Cups coming in. So that's a very good set of cards that would talk about, you know, where this is all going. This is saying to yourself, have faith, keep going, persevere, but additionally, you will receive those fruits. You will be able to, you know, finally pick one from the tree, and it will be worthwhile as you finally wrap up this endeavor. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to wrap this endeavor up as well. Thanks so much. This has been Aluminum Tarot, reading for the sign of Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is going to be just the message you need to know in June. Did I say Aluminum Tarot? No, it should be Crucible Tarot. I apologize for that. I still have to get the rebranding sorted out, and hopefully I can do that by the end of all of these readings for this week. This has been Crucible Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me for this week's reading, and until next time, love and light. Bye now.